You've seen both men in action at Capital Fight Show 18. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now for the main event of Capital Fight Show 19. Who do you have? Archibald? Or the champion, Kapeen? Ladies and gentlemen, this is it, the main event and the final episode of our embedded series, Archibald versus Kapeen for the New South Wales Welterweight title.
Okay, Peios. Good to see you again. 1 week out, mate, from the big fight. Great to see you. Looking sharp, mate. You're looking sharp. I don't want to get behind those bags, mate, or even those punches, let alone anything else. It's good to see you looking so good, mate. Tell us about the preparation quickly, if you don't mind, and how everything's come up to this point 1 week out.
Prep's been really good, mate. My last fight, I only had an 8-week camp for an 8-round fight, and mate, I felt like I did that really well, and I've obviously performed really well from it. And this time I've had a longer period of time. I only fought 3 months ago, so we're still fresh, you know what I mean? So it's just about maintaining and then picking it up when we needed to, and it's showing in training, it's showing in sparring. You know, I've done I've done rounds with multiple partners, fresh every one. So mate, we're feeling good, and we're looking good.
So at this point of proceedings, mate, it's a tough point in a way. You're getting towards the back end of your training. How much tapering off will you do next week and getting your body right for the big fight?
We've already started tapering. We started tapering last week, I think. Instead of doing 2 a days, you know, just drop it down to single sessions a day. Single sessions a day. But we're it's just managing it. The fitness is there, the weight's there. It's just about, you know, looking after the body and being mentally sharp when we get in there, not overdoing it. So we started tapering last week, I think. Yeah.
George, you showed us your resilience back in fight one, mate. You were dropped 20 seconds into your professional career. You came back, unbelievable performance, and then moving into your next bout, you know, you had some big knockdowns in another great victory when you got that strap around your waist, mate. So what I wanted to talk to you about and ask is that fighting spirit. That's all I've ever heard about you. It's all I've ever known about you in the time that I've had the pleasure of being your friend and knowing how much that spirit is inside of you. So what have you learnt in that position to go from 20 seconds into a career being oh bugger to now being a state champion?
Look, I think I've said this before in our interviews. Sorry, it's just my little boy.
You
want to sit up here, big man?
Come in again, buddy.
He likes to spotlight this kid.
Yeah, good. Just like his dad, eh?
Look, I think I've said this to you before, Steve, in other interviews. When I turned professional, I wasn't bringing my debilitating habits from my amateurs. You know, not putting 100% effort in and not being well prepared every fight, and mentally and physically. You can be physically prepared as much as you want, but if you're not mentally prepared, that's the two different things. You know, you can't really teach mental toughness, and I think I've had that ingrained in me since a young age and competing in a lot of different sports. But from the first fight, I kind of went in there. I wasn't really switched on. I was just trying to, you know, feel it out a bit, and he caught me with a good shot. But the whole time in my mind, I said I've got 3 more rounds, and the guy's going to feel me for every one of those rounds. When I'm fighting, I don't necessarily think of what's happening. I don't go, oh, I wonder who saw that or what that. All I worry about, or not even worry about, what I focus on is what I just need to do. And then when the final bell rings or whatever happens, as long as I've done what I've needed to and focused, you know, I should have my hand raised.
How much does that mean to you, that strap? Because that's a big achievement, mate. There's only a handful of boxers, and as a percentage of the guys that fight for that, only so many will ever win that, mate. So that is something that no one will ever be able to take away from you.
No, you're right. No one ever takes away from me. It means a lot to look. It means a lot to me and my team, not just in terms of winning this and being a state champion. It means that we're doing the right thing, we're going the right direction, and that, you know, what we're doing is correct. And that's the main thing behind it. Like, I'm not in this, like, of course everyone's in here for accolades and achievements and things like that, but I'm more in it for self-improvement, and that's my main outcomes. But at the end of the day, it is nice to win something like this, and also to follow in who I'm named after, George Kapeen, who was the welterweight champion in Australia, was also a New South Wales champion, and for me to win this, this strap in my second fight in Crate history, it did mean a lot, and I'm very proud of that achievement. Look, I don't go in there thinking I'm going to hurt my opponent, I'm going to take him out, stuff like that. I just go in there thinking I need to do what I need to do, and then hopefully that result comes, and that's all I can focus on is myself. Like the last fight, I just saw my whole team and I thought, look, we just had to box 8 rounds and get the decision, you know what I mean? And I made him quit on his stool in the 4th. So you don't know what's going to happen. You just got to do what you can do, what you're in control of. Look, Abe and I have probably done 100, easy 100 rounds, you know what I mean? We both know each other quite well, and it's just about making slight adjustments to the unexpected kind of stuff. Look, we're very confident. And I know what Abe brings, he knows what I bring. And look, I feel like I'm improving. And I think Abe is improving too with his new camp and things like that. In his last fight, he showed that, he is improving. But I just wholeheartedly believe I'm just up there, I just got that edge, and I'm really gonna, play to those strengths that I know that I have over Abe. And I'm just going to try to take away, the strengths that he has. And, hopefully that brings me home to W, brother.
How confident do you think he's on the other end, mate, knowing that he knows you inside out as well, George?
He would be confident, and I don't expect him not to be. And I want the best Abe Archibald to rock up, you know what I mean? I want the best version of him. And you hear people say this all the time, in the media, like in other big fights, I want the best version of that person, so there's no excuses, blah, blah. I'm in this game for challenges, you know what I mean? I'm fighting a guy who's undefeated. It's his 4-0, but he's had 6 fights, all right? I've had 2. I'm in here for a challenge, you know what I mean? Everyone thought that Dylan was too early for me. How'd that turn out, you know what I mean? I love challenging myself, and I rise to this shit. And this is what I love. This gets me excited. This is what gets me out of bed to train. Is people doubting me, going, might be too early. Please, watch.
Abe Archibald.
Steve, good to see you again.
Great to see you again, mate.
You too.
The time for talk is over, my friend. The hard work is done, I hope. Couple of days to go now, mate.
Yeah,
but
if it's not done now, it won't be done.
That's right, mate. Well, you're looking sharp.
Thank
you,
mate.
Nice and fit. Tell us a little bit about that preparation, mate, how everything's gone. And since we last spoke to you about 5-6 weeks ago, where we're at the moment and how things are going.
Yeah, it's been a big solid camp. Since I last seen you, we've done a lot of sparring. This time we went in the state for a lot of our sparring. Still moved around for a few of the local boys here. Good strong camp, and we're happy with where we are now. Yeah, worked out at a few top gyms in Sydney with some top fighters. Good variety of boys, bigger guys, smaller guys my size. Good variety of opponents, and some big names in Australian boxing.
What was the benefits that you got out of that, mate? I mean, any time that you're in that position where you're getting that really good sparring, besides the black eye, mate, but outside of that, that's all part of the game, mate, because you're looking fast and strong, as I saw in the pads before. What benefits did you get out of that? Yeah,
it's not always hard sparring. We do a lot of different levels, but when we went up there, we had a good variety of opponents and a good variety of styles more so. Guys that come forward, thinkers, boxers, counter punchers, so it was a good hard prep. Mate,
time for talk is over, as we said. Let's talk a bit about your opponent. You've got Kapeen on the other side, good friend of yours.
Good mate,
He's a guy that you're friends with and done a lot of sparring, you've trained together. So I know there's a lot of mutual respect there, but tell us about the relationship and how you're approaching this fight against someone that you know quite well.
Yeah, I mean, coming through the amateurs, you often fight your mates, blokes you know. You often fight guys in the same gym. So from that regard, I've fought guys that I'm close to before. But other than that, there's obviously a bit more hype in the pros, especially with CFS, the way it's promoted, social media, everyone's talking about it. You get messages from people you haven't heard from for a decade. So it does build a hype and an excitement around it. And here in Fight Week, it's an awesome feeling. I think it helps you as a fighter to get through those hard sessions because there is such a high prestige around it. Yeah.
That's really positive to hear, mate. Well, it sounds like we're all doing our jobs correctly, mate, from fighters to promoters to everybody that's involved to getting it up. I know the talk's been big and sales are huge. Everybody's ready to come and tear the house down for this. Let's talk a bit about the actual opponent itself. What can you tell us about what you've worked on to get ready for George and how you're going to go into this to get that strap?
Look, me and George know each other quite well. However, over time, fighters can evolve, they can change their tactics. So the biggest thing is being prepared for anything throughout my conditioning, tactically, and everything else. I don't want to give too much away about my plan. I've got a fair idea what Kapeen's looking to do. But CFS, I'm just ready to go.
That's really interesting to hear that, mate. We heard a bit of that from George as well, talking about the intricate knowledge of each other's camps, mate. So how confident does that make you, knowing that you've got that inside track on him the same way that he would probably feel he's got that inside track on you, mate? It must fill you with a little bit of, confidence and having you ready for that big fight.
Yeah, I reckon it makes you more confident, and just got to make sure that doesn't go to your head and you are prepared for everything and anything, which I've done. I've left no stone unturned in this camp. It's been a big camp, and a lot of interstate sparring, as we spoke about. So but it does build my confidence, knowing Kapeen as a personally, because to beat someone, the best way to beat someone is to know them, what motivates them, what fuels them, and know them as a person.
So what can you tell us about what will fuel him and how you're going to go? I mean, it's a hard one to touch on in the sense that often in a prelim to a big boxing match, there's often a lot of big trash talk, and we saw with the heavyweight championship of the world on the weekend, that big bravado that comes beforehand. But is that something that you've sort of thought, coming up to fight day, is there something that you can actually do to get in his head and talk to us about to make that a little bit more uncomfortable for him?
Yeah, I don't need to trash talk. I don't feel like I need to employ that strategy to get in his head. I know he's proud to have a belt. He doesn't want to just give it away. However, I'm coming to take it. I've got my tactics worked out and primed and ready to go.
Beauty for you as well, Abe. You're on a 4-fight win streak as well. Difficult start to your career. You've overcome the adversity, a little bit of an injury as well with that bicep tear, mate. But even that day, you powered through, mate, to get a result that day. You didn't walk away with an O, which is very important. So moving forward from that, mate, you've sort of steadily built your reputation and built your career up to this point. Now, 4-fight win streak as well must have you nice and confident coming into this that you're ready for the big strap, right? You're ready for the big fight, mate. The lights are going to be on you, boys. Main event, big show. The papers are covering everything. There's a lot coming up as well with MBS in June. So there's a lot on the line, mate. I'm not trying to put the pressure on you or George, but that's just the facts of the matter, mate. That's where we're at.
And I can be confident because I've prepared well. As we know, that injury at the start of my career, it took a lot of rehab, operation, and to get it back. Been working in fine form, but now this preparation, I've stayed on top of myself physically, and I mean, it's great to come through a hard 10-week camp, and your biggest blemish is just a black eye right at the end of from hard sparring. So I can't be in a better spot physically and mentally, and my confidence comes from the hard work I've put in and my desire.
Big question for you, mate. What's your prediction? How is it going to go down? Abe, what's your thoughts on this fight? What's going to be the final outcome? What am I going to announce at the end of the fight, mate?
I think you'll announce and new. I don't want to predict how, whether it's stoppage, points or whatever, but it'll be and new.
Brown, welcome, mate. This is what we love about you. You're always a larrikin, always someone that's good to talk to, mate. I know you're doing a bit of acting practice with me here, but that's good.
It's where I get all my skills.
Yeah, well, staring at ears like me. It's not hard, is it, mate? Good to see you again, my friend.
Yeah, good seeing you too.
How you feeling, mate? There's a big fight coming up on Friday, obviously. You've got not only one man that we've just spoken to, Abe Archibald, fighting for a very big title. Dylan Hadley's fighting as well.
Yep.
But let's focus on Abe. Errol himself's been ready to go, mate. He's talked about the preparation that he's had and all that good work. So, mate, fill us in with what you can and to give us all the information that the fans can hear without going into detail too much.
Yeah, of course. I can't go into a lot of detail about fight strategies and that sort of stuff, but it's been a really good camp. We've made some changes, but with both the boys. So they've been advancing a lot with this training camp. It's been a hard one. It's been a lot of hours, laborious, blah blah blah. We've got through the end of it, and now confidence levels are through the roof. I mean, both the guys have hit their peak right at the right time. Both feeling really confident. All the work we've been doing in the last couple of weeks has been bang on. So the sparring that we're seeing has been exceptional. I'm having a hard time keeping up with Abe at all now with my own fitness, which is great. He's starting to peak now, and he's gone fantastic. Looking forward to it now.
One thing I've always wondered as someone who sits on the other side of the fight game in terms of announcing and promoting and getting involved in these, I love hearing about how you coaches keep your guys motivated. You hear from even the biggest stars in the world talk about mid-camp, how laborious it gets, like you said, how difficult it gets to keep guys motivated and keep them fit. Tell us about that, please, because for me, that's fascinating. You get to the point where limbs are tired, bodies are sore, but you keep guys motivated. And now it's almost downhill from here now. It's the easy part, isn't it? Getting them ready for the big show and the bright lights.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's a lot of stress, and I think with all my guys that I train, it's the difference between amateurs and professionals is there's a lot more work goes into it, but you've really got to treat it like a business. You've got to be prepared to put in the hard yards, put in all the work if you want to reap the benefits at the end of the day. And I instill that in our guys right from the start, and that's what I really remind them of all the way through. So yeah, sure, everyone goes through their lulls. It's really putting them back on the page with what they're working for, knowing that they've got that plan in place. This is part of that plan, and you get back on the horse. I suppose that's the biggest role of a coach, is to get in there and just keep driving that, and not let them take their foot off the gas. They've got to keep that pressure on themselves as they go through that. So yeah, you see that, but kicking the ass here and there is not a bad thing.
Keep them motivated, mate. I love
Absolutely.
it. This is a big fight. What can you tell us about George Kapeen on that side of proceedings? Dennis Arthur is his coach as well. The community in Canberra is quite strong when it comes to boxing. Lots of successful guys, but let's get serious now. This is a fight between two guys that know each other well, but there needs to be a bit of mongrel now to actually go at each other and defeat one another for what is a very prestigious belt.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Look, we've got no question. When a fighter is getting in the ring, he's got every intention of winning. So I'd expect fully that George is anticipating winning this fight. I'd be disappointed in him if he was thinking of anything less. So he'll bring his A game. I don't think that's good enough to beat Abe at all. But he'll certainly be, he's not going to quit on the stool. He's going to be a guy that goes forward. I believe George has got loads of heart. I know George is a nice guy. He's going to keep working all the way through. I don't see him having the ability that Abe's got, and I see this fight being a very tough one for George, especially with Abe being tuned in the way he is right now. But look, it's going to be a great fight for the spectators regardless.
So where is it won and lost then, mate? I mean, I love asking these questions, and the beauty of it is the intricate answers that we get back, which doesn't want to give too much away. So I'll give you that credit.
Tough.
I'll give you that credit in the context of not having to go into complete detail. But
yeah.
Where is it won and lost in the sense of the work you've put in and how much effort Abe has to get right on the night? Well, I don't mean effort, but technically speaking, what does he have to do to get it right against a fighter like George?
He's just got to box the plan. He knows the plan well. He's been boxing it in sparring and training. He's just got to execute that on the night now. That's really all he needs to do. Look, everyone's got a plan. And that's what we say. We're anticipating George has got a big punch. He's got a big right hand, and we hear about that. We've seen that. But, everyone's got a plan up until they get hit. And Abe's hitting like a train at the moment, so I don't see that being an issue for us. Look, as I said, really excited to see the fight. I have been ever since the fight was made. Probably a little bit disappointing at the start that we had to have our two local guys. We like George. Known him for a long time through the amateurs as well. And we ideally wouldn't have picked that fight, but he got the title. The only way ahead for us is to go for that. So,
What do you think's going to happen? Can you tell me, or where are you placed on what do you think it'll be?
look, I think certainly Abe's got more than enough ability to outbox George and win this on points. The work that I've been doing with Abe, though, I think this is a fight that Abe can win by a KO, to be honest. I'm not going to call it. I'll be happy either way. But it's very likely that'll end early. Not super early. We're prepared to go all the way, so it really doesn't matter too much. But Abe's on point. So, yeah.